Happy Tuesday, boys and girls. I hope you guys are having a great day of learning at home. Definitely miss being at school. I try to in my mind go through our schedule, and it's around 11 o'clock, so we would be getting ready to go to lunch, which I'm hungry, so maybe I'll be going to lunch here soon too. But when you get back from lunch, we always have math, so I thought I would go ahead and give you our math lesson for the day, just in case some of you guys might be a little confused. So it's important that you look at your math reference books if you were able to bring them home. In your math reference books on page 130 and 131, it talks about finding the area of a rectangle. So that's kind of what we're going to be working on today. The fancy word in our books is called partitioning rectangles and squares. So basically that just means putting them in smaller parts. So it's not too difficult. Partitioning is the big word for us today, but it basically means just putting it into smaller units or parts. So we're going to be working with the 1 square centimeter, and 1 square inch. Now, if you brought your templates home, now it was a little crazy the day we left, so some of you remembered to grab that. I think a few of you might have forgotten it at school. So I forgot mine at school, so I don't have that to use today. If we were at school today doing this lesson, you would be using our centimeter cube blocks that we use for base 10 counting, and you would be using our square blocks as well. So this is really supposed to be a hands-on using manipulatives activity, so it's a little bit difficult when you don't have those materials, but we're going to still work through it and learn our course standard for the day. So if you have this book, please read through it, because it will definitely help you as we are going to cover the lesson. So you're going to cover the shape with unit squares to find the area. All right, and remember when we talked about looking at area and looking at shapes, you go by rows and columns. So we're going to talk about that today too. So your first thing you need to do is figure out what are you going to use in order to complete your math journal page. If you have your template, then you can use that. If you're like me and you don't, I use this tape measure that I have at home, and I measured out a 1 square inch block, and this one's going to be tough to use, a 1 centimeter square unit. Okay, so I drew some. I kind of drew some on my paper too, just to kind of play around. So it's kind of fun. You could do that as well. So it says use centimeter cubes to completely cover rectangle A without any gaps or overlaps. Then you're going to answer the questions. So you would be using this small centimeter cube, and I'm just going to place it down on my book like this. Whoops. Okay, sticking to my finger. And then I would just simply use, I'm in Grace's room. She'll be mad at me for using her stuff, but they were being noisy downstairs. Can any of you parents relate to that? So I'm going to use this, and I'm just going to do the best I can, boys and girls, because sometimes you're going to probably have a little bit of gaps if you're drawing them out, and that's okay. We'll get better at that as we go. So I'm basically just taking this little centimeter cube, and I am trying to partition my rectangle A. Okay, so this is my start. Okay, So you guys would use your template, or if you need to create your own little centimeter cube to use, that's what you would do. So you would work through that, and then you answer the questions. How many cubes were on your rectangle A? How many cubes are in each row? And how many cubes did you use to cover it? And you would do the same with rectangle B, but you're going to draw, well, rectangle B is pretty much the same thing, so you're just going to practice that for both, because we would normally be using the actual cubes to cover rectangle A. Hey, if you wanted to, you could cut out little bitty cubes and just glue them on there too. So you could do this however you feel that works best for you. Okay, so that's what you would do at the beginning. And then I'll show you what, well, and then on your next page, page 203, you guys would be taking square. So 1 square pattern block, which I made a 1-inch pattern block, 1-inch square pattern block. I cut that out, and you would do the same thing with this. So I put my pattern block. Now on your template, you have both the centimeter square and you also have the square inch. So you can use those if you have your template. Okay, so see how I started with drawing my square inch? So you would cover this all up. Now, boys and girls, every time I do this lesson, kids get frustrated. I don't want you to be frustrated, okay? It's okay if it's not perfect. You're going to do the best you can do, all right? Your goal is to just know that you are looking for finding the area of this rectangle. You're trying to find the area of the square and the rectangle, and you're trying to do the best you can do with it, okay? When you are drawing, yes, it might not look perfect. So for those of you who like things to look perfect, don't be frustrated if yours is not perfect, and don't erase holes in your paper, okay? Just want you to do the best you can. All right, you would then answer your questions in rectangle C, okay? Then on the back page, on page 204, partition each rectangle into squares that are the same size as your square pattern block. And again, you can use this for page 204 as well. Okay, I hope that helps you guys when you're working on your lesson today. Definitely, we would be having more fun with it if we were at school, but we're not, and so we're going to stay positive. And so take pictures of your work if you want to show how you did. You don't have to, but if you want. And hopefully you have you're able to show how to partition a rectangle and square using your template, using your square inch and your square centimeter. This is some of the on my teacher's edition. This is what some of the examples would look like. Can you see that? Okay, so see how sometimes the correct way, and then if you notice on this, it's incorrect because they aren't actually using the correct size. They started out here doing really great, and then maybe got a little tired or something through here and just started maybe drawing their own instead of using their square inch. So try to work through it. Don't get frustrated, and have fun. See you guys at our Google chat. Talk to you soon. Bye.